Hi everybody, it's Miss Austin and I'm going to be going over the Unit 3, Lesson 1 practice problems, 1 through 5. So this lesson is about reviewing our power or exponent properties from Algebra 1 and probably even before Algebra 1. So it says, number 1, find the value of each variable that makes the equation true. So if you know the power properties, it's great. You can also always convince yourself, right? 2 to the 5th means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then times 2 to the 3rd means 1, 2, 3. And then you could count those up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means that A is 8. Now, what's the shortcut? When you're multiplying and the bases are the same, you can go ahead and add those exponents. 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay? Now, what about when you're dividing? The shortcut for dividing is that you subtract. So 4 take away something resulted in a -2. And the other way I like to think of it, when I think of negatives, that means there was more 7s on the bottom. So you could make an equation. You could say 4 minus what? It gives a -2. And then you could subtract 4 from both sides. Negative b equals -6. Divide by -1. So b is 6. So it had to be 7 to the 6th power. Let's make sure that makes sense. 7 to the 4th over 7 to the 6th. The shortcut for dividing is to subtract the exponents. 4 minus 6 does result in -2. And the other way I was thinking of it, if you have a negative exponent, it means that's how many more there were on the bottom. There's 2 more than that. Okay, so B was 6. And then letter C, 8 to some power creates 1 over 64. Well, right now this is 8 over 1. And so these are just little tricks I think about in my head. That 8, right? 8 squared is 64, but it's on the bottom. Okay, that means it's a negative exponent. Those 8s need to be brought down here. So C is going to be -2. And then let's think that through. 8 to the -2 means that there's 2 8s on the bottom, and 8 squared is 64, 1 over 64. So A was 8, B was 6, C was -2. Number 2, select all expressions equivalent to 7 to the -2nd power times 7 to the 5th times 7 to the -3rd. Now, you could write these out. You could use the shortcut. I'll go ahead and use the shortcut. If you heard me up here, if the bases are the same and you're multiplying, you're allowed to add the exponents. So let's go ahead here and condense. So they're all 7. 7 is the base, so now I can add -2 plus 5 is 3, and 3 plus a -3, this is actually 7 to the 0. Okay, well, that's definitely matches that one. And then today in our activity, we realized and we remembered that 7, not even just 7, anything to the 0 power is 1. So that's correct. Now 0, no. 1 over 7, no. 7 to the 10th, no. All right, number 3. Which expression is equal to 3 to the 8th power over 3 to the 2nd? Now you can use your shortcut. I will show you. You can always convince yourself. Again, you write 8 of these out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over 2 of them. And then those 2 would cancel, and you'd be left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. What's the shortcut? 8 take away 2 makes 6. D. Number 4, find the value of each variable that makes the equation true. So 6 take away something made 9. 6 take away something made 9. Subtract 6. Divide by -1. m was -3. Let's just make sure that makes sense. So I had 5 to the 6 over 5 to the -3. Okay. If you have 1 over and it's negative, that means those 3 actually belong up here. It's the reciprocal. So this is actually 5 to the 6 times 5 to the third, which makes a total of 9. Okay. M is -3. 2 to the third times 4 to the what is 2 to the 11th. A little bit of a tricky one here, because right now I can't add those exponents because my bases don't match. But I could switch 4. I could change that 4 to a 2. So this is actually 2 to the third times, I'm going to switch 4, 2 squared to the n. Okay, now, since the 2's are the same base, now I know 3 plus 2n equals 11. Let's go over here and create an equation. 3 plus 2n equals 11. Subtract 3. 2n has to make 8. N must be 4. And we could check this one on a calculator if we wanted. I didn't really do any of them. We could check on a calculator. Let's see if that's right. 2 to the third. 2 to the third times 4 to the, we got that n is 4. Is that what 2 to the 11th is? Yay, we got it right. Okay. Letter C, 7 to the 4th, all being raised to the k power, is 7 to the -8. Now this shortcut, when you have a base being raised to a power, being raised to another power, the shortcut is you multiply those. So you have 4k equals -8. Divide both sides by 4. K is -2. All right, last one. It says evaluate the expression 6 to the third over 6 to the third. Well, I mean, one way to think about it, I don't care what the number is or what the expression is. A quantity divided by itself is 1, right? 6 over 6, 8 over 8, 1,000 over 1,000, 6 to the third over 6 to the third. Now, if we use the idea of the shortcut, right? When powers are being divided, the shortcut is to subtract these two. Well, 3 take away 3, that's where the 0 comes from. But we already know the answer to this problem is 1. So that's why it makes sense that anything to the 0 power is 1. It means there was the same number of whatever. There was 3 of these, and there was 3 of these. But those are the same. So if you divide a quantity by itself, you're going to end up with 1. Hopefully that helps a little bit on the 0 power property. I hope this helped, and I'll see you soon.